date. Besides his academic qualifications, Arun also holds ISO certifications in information security, business continuity management systems, and occupational health and safety management systems. He is also a certified project management specialist and technical surveillance countermeasures professional. He is an avid travel enthusiast and a published author and poet with his books of short stories titled A Baker's Dozen. It has got a 13 chilling Indian tales of macabre. Published in 2021, he has also published 8 times so far as co-author in various international anthologies. He is a regular book reviewer with Hindu Business Line, and we are very pleased and feel very proud that he is amongst us, and he will give his viewpoint about how to go ahead in your life as youngsters. You have just stepped into the technical field of their life, and he will guide you how to do things the way it's supposed to be. So over to Colonel Hariharan. Thank you, Hariharan, for joining us. You are not audible.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you very much, Colonel Prakash. And sorry for being a little late. Early morning traffic in Gurgaon, it sometimes it catches you off guard. So it somewhere upset my time schedule in the morning. So sorry about that. Firstly, thank you, Colonel Prakash. And I think totally undeserving words of introduction for me. I'm just a normal guy. And very happy to be here. And very happy to see young, cheerful faces early in the morning. So it's a very good feeling. And to see so many young people sitting here and to listen to whatever little experiences I can share. So it's not that there's something great I've done or anything like that, but just that I just thought I will more than a kind of a presentation. I thought we can have a two-way kind of a interaction. That would be more interesting. So I will go through the motions. I have made a small PPT just to structure the whole discussion in the morning and the conversation in the morning. I'm calling it a conversation because I would like this to be a two-way street, rather than me just rattling out something and half the people going to sleep early in the morning. So that's not my way. I don't want it to be that way. I want that all of us should take something from each other. That you get to learn or you get to hear a few things from me, and I would definitely love to hear a few things from you, and both of us go back wiser today. Then time is well spent. To start with, I will just. So good morning all, and really sincere apologies for holding you all back like this. This is one thing I didn't figure out. First the traffic and then the technology. So I don't know. I didn't figure out. So without much ado, let me start off right away. So you'll find the subject of my the talk today. It's a little weird. First thing will be a career in the armed forces and enjoying what you do. So I'm going to talk about two things here. So firstly, let me tell you, this is not a career counseling session. So I'm not going to tell you, what are the types of entries and what all you can do and how do you do, what time are when are the exams and what is the pay package and all. I'm not talking about that now because I don't think anybody is interested in that now. And you can get that. It's all available in all the social media. So I'll talk about certain things, and I'm going to talk about how engineers, you're all engineers, you're all budding engineers, and in what way can, as engineers, what are the things you can look for in armed forces? As engineers, what can you look forward to in the armed forces? What are the various opportunities? So I'm going to have a high level discussion on that, and what, as an engineer, what you can look forward to in the armed forces, what are the various opportunities. So just about that. And then halfway through, I'll switch over to generic certain life lessons, about whatever you do, how to enjoy that, and how to be successful, how to enjoy, and how to be successful. I'm not saying that I'm some great management guru or something, but these are a few of the lessons which I learned down the course of my life, where I changed my track halfway. I was a soldier. I'm still a soldier, of course, but I was a serving soldier for about 22 years of my life, and almost for a decade now, I have been in the corporate. So whatever I learned, whatever little bit I picked up along the way, so I just thought I'll share it with you all. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, a little brief about me. This is how I looked, this is how I looked in 2013. So this is me in uniform. The next slide. And this is how I look now. So it's the same me. And Colonel Prakash brought out, this is my second job in the corporate. I worked for almost 5 years in a company called Welspun in Gujarat. It was a hardcore manufacturing facility, and it was a huge, setup. And then I came here. I'm based out of the corporate office in Delhi now, in Gurgaon to be precise. I'm based out of the corporate office of Airtel. I am in a leadership role here. So it is a big change for me. So what I did in my previous job and what I'm doing now, also there is a lot of difference. So as they say, variety is the spice of life. So that is also I'm going to talk about that as we go on. And next slide, please. Okay. Now let's come down to what we're going to talk about today: defense services. So by defense services, what do you mean? Can somebody tell me what is the meaning of defense services? What are the defense services of India? Somebody, just quickly. Anybody? What are the three, four, two? What are the defense services of India? What do you mean by the defense services? Okay, I go on. Basically, by the defense services, we mean the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. Rest of the other things, what you talk about, BSF, CRPF, they're not defense services. They're Central Armed Police Forces. So I'm not going to talk about that because a lot of people have misnomers. People start, even media, I've seen them reporting BSF as armed forces and all that. It's not that. So armed forces is defense services is the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, the tri-services. Okay. So we'll start with the senior most, that is the Army, and the largest, which is the Indian Army. So I go to the Army now. Next. Okay. Before that, when you leave school or when you're still in school, you always get confused. Even I got confused. Everybody gets confused in life. What are the options? आप 10 लोगों को मिलेंगे, आपको 10 चीजें बताएंगे कि आप ये भी कर लो, आप वो भी कर लो. You do this. Parents will have their own aspirations. Our kids should do. Somebody will say you should become an IAS officer. Even I have done that as a parent. Even I have done that. But then, and that what does it do? It confuses even you even more. You get confused. कि मैं भी क्या करूं? मेरे को ये भी बोल रहे हैं. You find some benefit here, and most of us, that includes me. Where at that stage of life, we're pretty confused about what we want to do. Whether we want to do engineering. If I do engineering, what do I want to do in engineering? And I'll give you example of my own daughter. She did instrumentation engineering, and now she's working as a data scientist because she somehow found her calling, and she went and she got a job and where she worked, and then she started doing data science there. So data science has actually got nothing to do with instrumentation engineering. And she was a totally anti-CS type when she joined college. She's saying, I don't want to do coding all my life. I don't want to do that. But now she's hardcore into that. So you never know, where you find your passion, when you find your passion. So it's all about finding your passion and finding your calling. Then the very important aspect is, one, I told you, the options, they always confuse you. अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि 1980s में हम, when me and Prakash were there in 1980s, तो choice was कि यार डॉक्टर बन जाओ, engineer बन जाओ, कुछ लोग lawyer बन जाते थे, and some people like us used to join the armed forces or civil services. So like that. But now the options are huge. Exposure is huge, and you people are also much more aware and much more, I should say, literate, if I can put it across like that. Because the options are there. You got a world view thanks to internet. Being in a connected world, you got a world view to see what all is happening. So that confuses the situation even more. In fact, we had a much easier things making an option, because choices were only A, B, C, and D. And now I think if you start alphabetically numbering them, I think you'll run out of alphabets. Then second thing is, what is my ability? Now, all of us are not made equal.
We are very grateful and for you that you spare your valuable time with us and grace this function. We are inspired by your words of wisdom, sir. So it was very nice and wonderful session. So once again, I would like to thank you for your contribution towards the success of this program, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Divya, for your very kind words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, hello students. My name is Prateek Pandey and I am faculty here in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So today I'm going to present you the library facilities, the LRC facilities that are here in JUET campus and the IT enabled services, IT services that you are going to use in the coming 4 years. So these are the two topics that I'm going to present today. So let's first start with the LRC. So LRC here stands for Learning Resource Center, and you can compare it with the word, the meaning library that you have in your mind. So the library, we call it Learning Resource Center because it is not only about the physical books, it is about the e-books, the journals, and of course the internet resources, the online resources. Therefore, the term Learning Resource Center is more justifiable. So henceforth, we will not call library, rather we'll call Learning Resource Center.
is Miss Aparna Dubey. Presently, she has been working in Microsoft as a software engineer, and prior to that, she has also worked in Google. And if I talk about her area of interest or specialization in GCP data products, it is including BigQuery, data flow, Composer, data proc, data fusion, and ML and AI products. Now over to Apna, because so many people are there, so many students are there, they are waiting for you. So over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It feels so nice to see, the auditorium. It feels so nice to see you and everyone here. Uh, yeah, it's true. Like all my memories got revived. Okay, so to start with, I'm Aparna. I am a 2020 graduate. Currently, I'm working in Microsoft as a software engineer. I am working in Microsoft Dynamics 365 product, which is a CRM software, and I'm in Bangalore. Prior to working in Microsoft, I was working with Google as a technical solutions engineer for Google Cloud, and specifically in the big data products for Google Cloud. Yeah, that's all that my experience is. Uh, Now, talking about how, like, before I go ahead and say that I just did this and did that, I would like to make you all aware that these 4 years are going to be one of the best parts of your life, and you can reach anywhere, but these memories will never go out of your head. You will always miss your college. So since you have now gotten into college, please enjoy these 4 years. They will never come back. And just make sure that you are not only focusing on your career goals, but you're also making memories there. And JP has been like an amazing experience for me. It was like it was one of the best thing that happened to me. So since you all are here, I would request you all to leverage all the facilities that JP has for you guys, and just make the best out of it. My like what I did in my college years was, in my first year I just did like a basic coding. I was not a very good coder initially, so I just understood like what coding is, because I came from a completely non CS background, so I did not have any clue on what, even I did not even know what coding languages are. So I understood it. I did the basic like whatever subjects that are being taught here, I focused on them as well. During the end of my second year, during the end of my fourth semester, I started building interest in big data, Hadoop. This is nothing but this is a domain of data science, and I was like researching more on it. I was trying to understand what that is, and then trying some hands on. I also did certain trainings in big data, and since I was more inclined towards big data and I had like a necessary trainings and projects in that domain, that was one of the main regions that I could get into Google, because my domain was because they were looking for someone who had big data understanding. And even the team that I got into was dealing with big data products for Google Cloud. So and of course there will be coding. We all know that how important programming is for a CS engineer, and how important it is to practice it over all the 4 years that you have in your BTech. So of course, never leave that. And other than that, yeah, there were a few like I think one of the another reason that I could get into Google was I had understanding of all the other subjects as well, not only coding. Coding is just one aspect of it, but there are other subjects that are taught into the curriculum that we have. And I also like I had a good understanding of them, and that was like one of the major key areas. Now after Google, how I got into Microsoft was mainly with data structures and algorithms. I will cover it later what that is, but mainly with data structures and algorithms, and also there was a little of system design like in the interviews. And of course, during all these things, your speaking skills, your confidence, and your interpersonal skills, everything matters a lot. So now I'm here. And yeah, it's been almost 9 to 10 months here at Microsoft, and I was around 1 year and 2 months into Google. So why I changed my role? Because I was looking for more of a development role. I was a solutions engineer there, and I wanted to switch to software development. Okay, so with this, I think we can move ahead with how can you guys leverage all these 4 years that you have, and how can you guys make the best out of it. So in your first year, since you are just entering your first year, your you should never have interviews in your mind since the start of first year. You are just starting something. You have to build your fundamentals, you have to build your basics. First year is the most important you know part of btech, and I would say that you have like a lot of time to learn all the fundamentals. You should try all the programming languages there are. You should give a try to everything, and then understand which one of those suit you more, or if anything is better, then why is it better. Try to give your like time researching on things, understanding the basics of programming. Why do we do that? How does an input and output work? And like how does even the compiler work? Something like that. So once you have a basic understanding, like at least in your first semester, you should do just basic coding. And I know that in even in the first semester in our college also, we have the curriculum of like programming languages are covered. So when those programming languages are covered, you should understand them, you should learn the basics, and you should practice on platforms like HackerEarth, HackerRank. There are other platforms as well. Lead Code is one of them. There are so many of them, SPOJ. But I would prefer practicing only the basic questions, only the easy questions in the first year, and understanding like just basic understanding of object oriented programming, like what is object oriented programming and things like that. Now once we have like once you know what is all like once you, and also don't skip the subjects that are taught in the curriculum. Do not skip them, they are very important to uh, to understand the basics, to like to know what everything means. uh, Once, and also again, like I'm pointing that out, first year is the most important part. So do not only like just get involved into um, studying. Try every area, because even JP has all those wings, all the clubs. Try everything, build your skills in every domain possible, because they are very crucial. They build your confidence, and they make you they somehow make you ready for the for facing the world. So go try everything, build your speaking skills, that's very important. Build your uh, just a minute, I can't see the, okay, now I can see it, yeah. So build your fundamentals, and focus on all the extracurriculars that JP has to offer. Participate in sports, participate in all the cultural fest and everything that happens, and try everything out, and again build your personality. Also make good friends, and try to contact your seniors. Try to contact the people in your third year and final year specifically, because they have more idea on what they did not do right in their first year, and they can guide you better. Now once that is done, when we move to second year, that's when you have to focus more on data structures and algorithms. Now what is that? That is just like when you program, when you write programs, there's a way of storing the data in computer systems, and data structures are just a way of how like data is structured, and algorithms are just a way of dealing with them. You will obviously learn more about them later, but they are a very important part when you go in all these interviews, and like when you actually like go, even not only in interviews, but when you work, these things matter a lot. So try to like start learning data structures and algorithms. Start with the basics. Do not directly go with the high level views, because sometimes what we see is that the people are doing like very complex problems, but when it comes to like, do they know the basics, do they understand why that is happening? That may not be the case. So you have to make sure that in your second year you are learning from the basics, starting from the basics. And build your like, do not like, take time, gradually build your expertise in at least the easy questions for data structures.
Thank you so much, Aparna, for such a good session and nice session. That was a
Thank you, ma'am.
nice motivational talk.
Good morning, everyone. I extend a warm welcome to all at the Diksharambh, a student induction program for the first year students. I find immense pleasure in introducing Mr. Vishal, Country Head of Product Management, Google India, an alumnus of Harvard Business School and BITS Pilani. Vishal is the Head of Product Management, India for BI products within Google Cloud. Before Google, he was associated with Microsoft for 11 plus years, working on products ranging from Xbox, Surface, FarmBeats, Microsoft Digital Agriculture Platform, and supply chain management. Vishal is also a visiting faculty at the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad and Mohali, where he teaches software product management and elective to PGP students and multiple executive ed courses. Sir, I extend a warm welcome on behalf of JP University of Engineering and Technology.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much. I hope all of you can see and hear me. So it's slightly funny setup on my side because if I'm looking at the presentation, I can't see anybody yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to talk to you through a bunch of stuff, and then I said that we'll be able to do this for about 40-45 minutes. So I'll try to see if I can keep my talk for maybe 30-35 minutes, and then if there is any way for us to have a question and answer, I'm happy to stay back and answer questions. If not, we can always do this offline as well. So, as Professor Rai approached me and said, "Hey, would you be kind of willing to talk to students as they're starting off their engineering journey?" I was really thinking about what would be most meaningful, right? So I wasn't really sure about what would be very helpful, what would be the best thing that I could talk to you about. And then what I thought is, if there is a way for me to talk to you about the trends that are happening in the industry, what's actually happening around the world, and talk to you about how technology is becoming extremely important and centric, to give you a sense of the areas that you'll be able to explore, but then also leave you with some learnings that I've had over the course of my career, learnings that I've got from a bunch of my colleagues and my seniors that I've worked with, which have actually helped me be, slightly successful in terms of the things that challenges that I've faced. I thought if I can tie the two together to tell you, saying, here are the trends that we are seeing in the industry, here are examples of some things that are happening, and then also leave you with some tips that you could follow as you're starting your engineering journey. I thought that will be an interesting way to kind of talk to you about it. So hopefully it'll be fun. Like I tried to, I had a lot of fun putting this together, so I'm hoping all of you will also enjoy the talk, okay? So if you actually see, I called it future-proof, because in a lot of sense, one of the biggest things that all of us try to accomplish is we're all trying to figure out how can we be successful in the future, right? So whether it's the studies that we are doing, whether it's the job that we are doing, whether it's us going and taking care of our health in a gym, the goal is always how do you do the right things for your future, for all of our future, right? So in some sense, the constant quest that all of us are engaged in is to be future-proof. So that's kind of why I called this talk as future-proof, right? How can we try and go towards the journey of becoming future-proof, right? So that's what we'll talk about today. So we talk about some observations that I've made from the industry. We talk about some learnings that we've had. Hopefully, both of these will help you get off to a great start on your journey, right? So that's really the thought process. So by way of quick introduction, I think they already gave an introduction. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I'm Vishal. I work at Google. I lead a bunch of products at Google, primarily in the data and analytics space. I own the portfolio of products for business intelligence. Before Google, I was with Microsoft for about 12 years. At Microsoft, built a bunch of products. Some of those examples are there. So I actually started on Surface, built all versions of Surface. I also built Xbox for many years. And currently, I lead business intelligence products at Google. Outside of all of this, I also teach at the Indian School of Business. I teach at both the Hyderabad and Mohali campuses, teach a bunch of courses in product, in digital management, and digital transformations. I have an engineering degree many years ago. I wouldn't want to tell you when I graduated. So I graduated from BITS Pilani many years ago, and I got a chance to attend the Harvard Business School as well, as I was trying to learn more of the business side. So that's kind of my quick background. That's the boring stuff. Now let's get to the interesting stuff, right? So I'll start this with one of my favorite quotes of all time. This
Sir, on behalf of JP University of Engineering and Technology, I once again thank you for taking out time and marking your presence.
I'm deeply thankful. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes,
Someone
sir.
was saying something.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh no,
We're
I was just
getting
saying
it.
I'm deeply thankful for the opportunity. It's always wonderful to get to talk to what I call as people of the future, right? These are the people who are going to change the world. All of you are the people who are going to make a difference to the world. I was listening to this podcast in which Harsha Bhogle was talking yesterday, and he said something very interesting. He said the only thing people of my generation can actually do is get out of the way so that people of this generation can actually make a difference to the world. So in that sense, I think all of you are going to be the future. You are the future of the country. You are the future of the world. You are the people who are going to make a difference. And if there is someone who can actually change the world, it is you and nobody else. So all the power is with all of you, and I hope all of you get to do it sooner than later. So thank you so much.
Morning, everyone. I extend a warm welcome to all at the Diksharambh Student Induction Program for first-year students. I find immense pleasure in introducing our eminent speaker, Mr. Vikas Tiwari, who is Head of Solution Architecture, India Government Business. He is alumnus of Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Pune. He has 18 plus years of experience in solution architecture, cyber security, software development. He is cloud and open source evangelist and also a startup founder. He has worked with companies like IBM, Birlasoft, DXC Technology in his earlier roles. As part of AWS, for last 5 years, he has been working closely with government organizations in India, helping them to design applications and citizen scale and mission critical cloud native applications like Covin, leveraging open source technologies. I once again welcome you, sir, on behalf of JP University of Engineering and Technology. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Naval. Um, Great to see you guys back in college. Can I just see a raise of hands if you can hear me okay? All right, thank you. So, as Naval mentioned, my name is Vikas and I'm here to share my experiences. I would like to keep it an open session, so please feel free to ask questions. You can type questions in the chat, or if you have mic, you can always ask questions. The session is about I sharing my experience. It's been more than 18 years of my journey. I'm an engineer. I did my engineering from HBTI Kanpur. And if I talk about Riser, so he has been my mentor. He's a teacher. So when I was in HBTI Kanpur, he is actually my college senior. So you can think of I'm also your college senior, like your alumni, and you can ask questions openly. So when I joined college, I had so many doubts. Things were not clear, and over the years, I've learned that what perceptions we had when we started the college and when we are in industry. So it's been more than 18 years. I've been working in industry, working with multiple customers, government. So there are lots of learnings, and I would like to share that experience. And the perspective is, if I had this experience or understanding when I started my engineering, maybe I could have done something else to my career, or I could have made much more impactful impact on the life of citizens. So just to start my brief profile, I passed out from HBTI Kanpur in 2004. So Ricer was there. So he's one passionate person, and when he asked me to give this opportunity to talk to you guys, it was like one thing definitely I wanted. I'll just quickly brief the interaction we had. So Mr. Rai was heading the training and placement cell, and then later he was also the director of our college. So HBTI, if you don't know, is the Harcourt Butler Technological Institute in Kanpur, pretty old one, 1921 when it got established. So from that, we have seen the passion, and much of my career and my life has great impact, and the kind of vision that Mr. Rai said to us. So. Um, if look at the typical government colleges, many times we have seen people lack that passion when they are like in a government job. But what I saw with Dr. Rai, and when he was our TNP head, so the kind of passion he reinvented the training and placement cell, and then we were inviting all the college, all these large MNCs and other companies to our campus. So from that passion we learned, and then we are doing good in our career. So I'm here to share my journey with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for enlightening us with your knowledge. So, on behalf of JP University of Engineering and Technology, I once again thank you for taking out time and marking your presence.
Thank
Have
you,
a nice
everyone. Thank you, Ricer. Yep. Take care, guys. All the best.
have a nice day, sir.
You too.
So yeah, yes, good afternoon, all of you. Dear students, today we are having an actor, a celebrity, a star among us, Miss Kajal Chaudhary. She is an Indian actress, and let me take this opportunity to introduce her. She is an actress and model known for her work predominantly in the Hindi film industry. She was born in Aligarh in UP, and uh, she holds a degree in electronics engineering from HBTI Kanpur. And after completing her degree, she joined software industry and later on power sector as design engineer. She started modeling parallel and gradually ventured into acting. Before making her moves into acting, she has appeared in various television commercials and print advertisements like Nestle, Axis Bank, Honda, LIC, SBI, Tata, Microtech, Amazon, and many others. She has also acted in various television serials like Nagin on Colors, Wo Apna Sa on GTV, CID on Sony, Lal Ishq on NTV, Saudhan India on Star Plus. So, without much ado, I would invite Kajal Chaudhary to please start the much awaited session. Please, Kajal.
Thank you, Dr. Kamani, and thanks to JP Institute for giving me this opportunity to interact with the young minds. So, a very good afternoon to gorgeous girls and handsome young minds. So, how's the Josh? I'm sure I'm missing that synergy of the physical and offline session, but anyways, this is the choice we have to go with. So you have been interacting and You were listening, Vikas sir, and when I joined, I got the opportunity to listen to him as well. So we have been sitting for quite a long. So let's start with a very little exercise. So just be there wherever you are on your seat. Lift your both the hands and repeat after me. I'm enlightened. I am enlightened. I am joyful. I am peaceful, and I'm love. So let's do it once again. I'm enlightened. I'm joyful. I'm peaceful, and I'm love. Let's do it once again. I'm enlightened. I'm joyful. I'm peaceful. I'm love. So this is a little exercise I have shared with you right now. So when you will be actually starting your classes with the faculties, after every session, you need a quick break because our mind is tuned for short things, quick things. So once you activate with these 4 energizing words, let me share you, these 4 energizing words are very powerful. So you're not gonna yawn or sleep in the next classes. So it is very much important for you to stay awake throughout the session and also in your class. So in your classrooms, you will be learning a lot of theories. As Dr. Kamini shared that I'm also an engineer and I was able to venture into poetry, acting, script writing, modeling. So you all must be wondering how I was able to keep my spirits high and keep on going with the flow and ventured into so many fields. So I'm gonna give you a theorem of creativity. That theorem of creativity says that creativity is inversely proportional to negativity. So you have to keep yourself away from all sort of negativities. Can we use the chat box for the interaction?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, your session is broadcasted in the auditorium.
Okay,
So,
okay,
yeah,
fine.
the students are sitting just, far
Okay.
ahead from the laptop.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, we'll go without this. So, what is negativity in life? Like, if your peer has got a better score than you are scoring 90%, you were delighted, and the moment you came to know that I have got the least marks, others are scoring 95, 96, 99. So that delight has suddenly dropped off. uh, we feel jealous, we feel frustrated, we feel that we have failed. But if I ask you, 90% score is a very good score. So every time we are competing with each another, and in the process we lose the track. क्यों है तुम्हें गिला हरदम, क्या रखा शिकवे वास्ते से? क्यों है तुम्हें गिला हरदम, क्या रखा शिकवे वास्ते से? नदी ने पूछा कभी क्या तुमसे, क्यों हो तुम उसके रास्ते में? So the gist is, we have to keep going with the flow. No matter what is happening around us, within our environment, just be on the track and keep devoid of yourself from any sort of negative emotion, because negative emotion drains you out. It is like you all are using your mobile phones. So many apps are running simultaneously, right? So if all the apps are running simultaneously and you're not using it, eventually it is draining your power. In the same way, negativity is draining your power, your energy. Instead, the more we do, the worries are few. So we need to
so
Keep
much.
the Josh high.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All the
Okay,
best to all
goodbye.
the students.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I, Navaljeet Singh Arora, Assistant Professor from Department of Computer Science and Engineering, the host of this session, extend a warm welcome to all at Diksharam, the Student Induction Program for first year students. We have with us the distinguished speaker of this session, Mr. Anand Bhushan. He recently joined Sagoba 4 months back and working at Global Delivery Center, Mumbai Metropolitan Region. Saint-Gobain, a French multinational corporation, which is originally a mirror manufacturer and now also manufactures and distributes materials and solutions for the construction, mobility, and industrial markets. Talking about Mr. Anand Bhushan, he had completed his BTech from HBTU Kanpur in chemical technology and completed course on pricing strategy from Institute for Management Development based in Lausanne, Switzerland, as well as in Singapore. This institute is ranked in top 3 of the FT's executive educational global ranking for 9 consecutive years. He had worked with Capgemini for nearly 7 years and was Vice President of Delivery Partner, Cloud Transformation and Innovation and Global Delivery. He had also worked as Section Manager at Bajaj Auto Limited, Developer and PM at Infosys Technologies Limited, Senior Consultant at Capgemini Consulting, Project Manager at ABN AMRO Bank, NV Netherlands, Associate Consultant at TCS, Vice President Information Technology at Loyalty Rewards Management Private Limited, on various posts at Capgemini Amsterdam, such as Client Delivery Executive, Delivery Center Manager, Offshore Lead, etc. He is high caliber technology leader who had offered more than a decade of success driving top level technology performance for global blue chip corporations in the area of financial services, sector, life sciences, telecom domain, manufacturing and sales, and public sector, where he had worked with Ministry of Defense at Dutch. With 22 years of overall experience, he is having a good exposure of working in a cross-cultural work environment with distributed delivery models spread across multiple geographies. His specialization majorly includes cloud transformation, deep understanding of IT infrastructure and information security, technology landscape transformation, product conceptualization, product development, budget management, people and HR management, productivity improvements, and a strong delivery with focused on cost savings for clients. His motto, that is, make things happen and let the team win, reflects that he is truly a leader and having clear vision for the success of any organization. With these words, I would like to request Mr. Anand to take over the session and would like to tell students that they can post their queries in chat box during the session. So we'll take the queries at the end.
Thank
Over
you
to
so
you,
much.
sir.
Thank you, Navalji sir. And warm welcome to you all because his name is Diksharambh, and I had been a student exactly 22 years ago. No, it's 22 plus 4, 26 years ago. I had started in 1995 as a fresher in HBTI. And I was lucky enough to be coached, trained, guided, monitored, educated by many of eminent professors, including your vice chancellor, and that has shaped my career in those 26 years. So I am not going to speak to you about what you should do and what should not do in college, but what I will suggest you, recommend you, what should be your goal when you would be working across industry, when you will come out of college. So I'll share my experience rather than telling you what needs to be done. Because for many of you, you will have a different ambitions, different goals, and you'd be chasing different tracks. But whatever the tracks that you choose, you will find in your experiential journey, it will be relevant. So when I was studying and when you will study, the important was that how do you score? Because I have been grown up in an environment, in a time was everything was study, and there was no Google. IT in the shape and size it is today, it was not there. There was no WhatsApp, there was no iPhone, there was no rather smartphone, I must say. And I grew in that environment. Many of you have grown up in an environment when all these amenities, I would use word amenities, are available. And with these amenities, definitely your thinking would be different than how I was formatted. It's called formatting. And this formatting, and that's where in the industry nowadays it is spoken about a reverse mentoring, that I should be trained by people like you. Okay, so I'll share some of my experiential journey. When I came out of college, whatever was taught was not used. That doesn't mean that what is being taught right now to you and what will be you will be receiving it is of no value. The value is that you should develop your thinking. You should develop your approach to a problem, how you solve questions, and that is the learning that you get in those 4 years. Nothing about fluid dynamics to thermodynamics to chemical engineering to mechanical engineering. It's all about how you solve a problem, how you understand what has been presented to you, and that would be the used when you come in the industry. The second part that would be very relevant in industry, how much you understand ways of doing business. Doesn't matter which industry you are in. Somebody would be going to IT, somebody would be going to code industry. And wherever you go, it's a very important that you should.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable
Thank you so much. And my
suggestions.
apologies again for joining you guys late. And
It's
I
totally
wish you
fine, sir.
all the best in your next 4 years in this institute. You are in safe hands. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Today we have amongst us a renowned personality amongst our scientific community to share his experience and motivate all of us to take the right path in our contribution towards nation building. I, on behalf of our Honorable VC Professor JSP Rai and entire fraternity of JUET, welcome Dr. Pradeep Kumar KS, distinguished scientist retired from Bhabha Atomic Research Center. I also feel privileged to share the information that he happens to be my guide. And during my PG in nuclear technology during the year 2002 to 2004 and thereon, I have been generally associated with with him for past few decades. To give a brief of the scientist, Dr. Pradeep Kumar KS, he is a distinguished scientist from Department of Atomic Energy and was holding the post of Director, Health Safety and Environmental Group, HSEG, and Head Radiation Safety Systems Division in Bhabha Atomic Research Center till June 2019. He was also the designated National Radiation Emergency Response Director and was responsible for development of national level preparedness and response to nuclear and radiological emergencies, and developed 25 DAE emergency response centers, that is ERCs, with emergency response teams for the effective response to radiation emergencies anywhere in the country. He has the experience of more than 30 years in the field of radiological safety, radiation protection in reactors, and other radiation facilities, and expertise on nuclear security, environmental radiological impact assessment, and prevention, preparedness, and response to nuclear and radiological emergencies oblique threats. He represented India in many international forum of International Atomic Energy Agency and UN Scientific Committee on the efforts of atomic radiation, etc., and also strengthen the national level emergency preparedness through the development of various state of the art detection systems and monitoring methodologies required for prevention, detection, impact assessment, and response to nuclear and radiological emergencies and threats. His expertise was utilized not only in India but also by International Atomic Energy Agency for the prevention of radiological threats during World Cup football at South Africa and also during the Commonwealth Games in New Delhi. Many training programs were carried out for the teams from National Disaster Relief Force, paramilitary forces, police, NSG, that is National Security Guard, customs official, etc., and got many police vehicles installed with radiation detection system developed by his team and trained them to detect and respond radiological threats. He has also been instrumental in finding many orphan radioactive devices which were either due to some kind of issues in Mayapuri, in Delhi, and in Bombay and all. Due to some reasons, it were left unattended by someone. So this was all done by the technology they had. His leading role in the development and usage of systems like aerial gamma spectrometry system, drone-based detection systems, etc., got him international appreciation. Today, he may also deliberate on some of the systems developed by his team to motivate the young engineering students. So over to Dr. Pradeep Kumar. Very good afternoon, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Students?
Good noon, my dear students. And let me frankly admit, when I was asked to address all of you, there were two reasons which made me very, very happy to accept it. First is the invitation came from Colonel Prakash, whom I have worked with. And during his time in BARC, I have learned a lot from him because we, the scientists, many of you know, we do the scientific research, but we are not that disciplined and organized. And when we interact and work with a defense officer like Colonel Prakash, we learned if we also get organized and disciplined, how it will help in our scientific work. And his contribution, mainly the development of mobile gamma spectrometric system, within the short time, for a few years when he was in BARC, helped in a very big way in developing our capability and especially responding to national level radiological emergencies. Some of you might have heard in 2010, India faced a radiological emergency in Mayapuri, Delhi, where a university, because of the lack of seriousness, allowed a radioactive source to go to the public domain, and it led to a first and only one radiological emergency in the country. So searching of these type of sources in Delhi and removing the fear among the public that there is no radioactive contamination left behind, the mobile gamma spectrometric system developed by Colonel Prakash along with my team helped in a very big way. So I thought this is the best occasion for me to reciprocate, thanking him for the support he had given to us, the excellent work he has done in BARC. Because if I address the students here, and if they are able to get motivated or get some guidance in planning their future, and if they are able to excel very well in their exams, if they are able to do very well in the interviews in the future, if they can help, if it can help them in selecting the right paths, I will be very thankful, and I will be returning back to Colonel Prakash for the service he has rendered to BARC. This occasion I will also utilize to tell all my dear students that it is not enough you study in your engineering institute, score good marks, get some good job, and later you join the stream. You also you have got some responsibility to give back to the society, give back to the college. So it is very, very important that whenever you get an equation, try to interact the ex-students once you become an ex-student, and motivate them, give them information. I also like to give a small tips which I used to give. I had right from 1982 when I joined as an officer in BARC, 200 engineers were joining in BARC for the training course. And every year, 200 to 250 engineers I used to interact. And nowadays, the recruitment has come down around 100 to 120. So the last 40 years of experience of interaction, guiding them, learning from them, that I am going to share with you. And you will understand, though many of the students may not like to listen to advices, but I thought if I share my experience and the feedback from those students and who became wonderful engineers, that will help you to select your path, to put more firmness in your determination and commitment towards building up in the nation as the technocrats, the technology experts. You are able to hear audio? Any problem? Okay. So what I want to tell you is, we get a lot of engineers joining the Department of Atomic Energy. Earlier, there was examination and interviews. Nowadays, people who are scoring good marks, like GATE, without an exam, they can straight away come for an interview and they can get selected in Department of Atomic Energy. I'm going to tell you later about the three wonderful, most important research engineering department in the country: DRDO, ISRO, Department of Atomic Energy, where we offer wonderful opening for the scientists from various fields, and how they can develop their career, how they can participate in the development of nuclear technology, research organization, and directly or indirectly working for the national security. All this in within the limited time, I would like to explain.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Sahab. It was really, nice to see. I mean, nice to have your enlightening discussion, and I am really impressed. Your career spanning over 3 decades is something. You have enormous, experience. Particularly, myself being a student of physics, we have studied nuclear physics in a typical conventional manner. In a theoretical manner, I am again not just a physics student, being a theoretical physics student. It was really nice to see various, the way it connects and affects your other parts and, spheres of your life, and how our engineering in turn can enrich the subject. This is really something our students should, look for. I believe people will, after this talk, people will have more interest, getting into these organizations and not just the MNC type of career option. And again, I'm extremely thankful to our Registrar Sahab, Colonel Prakash Sahab, for arranging such an interesting talk. Thank you very much, Pradeep sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep. I once again take this opportunity to welcome you to JUT campus and stay with us and share more of your wisdom with all of us and the students, particularly other years also.
I will be happy.
We would be very lucky if you can come with you, and your family is also most welcome, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Rajneesh.